Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to ATS Showcases, and today we're going to be hauling this Metro Railcar from here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and we're going to head along the I-80 over to North Platte, a delivery I have not done before, so I think it's going to be very interesting, and this is a special transport delivery today, so I'll have escort vehicles around, of course this being part of the special transport DLC. In today's video, I am only using one third-party modification, that being the engine and transmission compilation mod. So without further ado, let's get this Western Star started up and get on the road. Alright, it's time to get rolling. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I certainly am. Great to be back here in American Truck Simulator, and I thought today let's do a special transport DLC because it has been a hot minute since I've done one and I want a little bit of a challenge. And when I was looking across for today's video and what different options I could do and going down my list of ideas, this one came across because, well, I have not done it before. I have somehow not done a Metro car haul ever here in American Truck Simulator, at least from the best of my knowledge. Now, of course, some of you will probably go back and find a video randomly when I did this just somehow, but as far as I know, I've never done one. So it's kind of, it's neat. It's a newer cargo as far as I am aware to the game, albeit it's probably been here for a couple DLCs now, but that's besides the point. Great to be back here in the 49XG gate. What in the world? I just think it would stay open for the main cargo if the escort vehicle goes through just fine. Whatever. You know what? It's that's just the way it is here sometimes with those things, but that's all right. We've got a number of things to talk about today as I make the delivery, and we're going to try and make sure that we clear everything quite nicely. It is a multi-point trailer here, so turning radius should be pretty decent, to be honest. Let's see how it gets along here. Oh yeah, it does turn and rotate out at the back end, so I like these kind of trailers. Makes life a little bit easier when going around these routes, but it's a decent weight today as well. I do believe, let's see if I can click the right button. There we go. Yeah, it's 79,000 pounds, so a good weight behind this 49X, but it is a high-powered Detroit diesel DD16 in the truck today. So of course with the 8x6 configuration, 18-speed even fuller, we're doing just fine in terms of torque and power. But there's been some big news over the last week that we need to discuss, and the biggest one being the confirmation of South Dakota. This is big news, my friends. Obviously, another DLC coming up, a fourth in the line of things. Great to see. It's always lovely to have South Dakota coming in a new DLC being confirmed. I don't think anyone would disagree on that. Just having another DLC confirmed and upcoming for us to look at, fantastic, at least in my books. Now, the question about this is, what is going to happen moving forward across the United States, where we get into some smaller states by nature, and are we ever going to get bundles? I think a lot of us were hoping for this to be a Dakota's DLC. Obviously, it is just south, so in that sense, it really does set the tone, in all honesty, about what is coming up. And so with all that said, that's the very reason why we're here in Nebraska once again today. I know I've done a few deliveries recently, actually in this general region, and in particular here in Nebraska. But it's because South Dakota is just, well, to the north of us, or maybe the better way to say it, given the name of the state, we are south of South Dakota. So that's the main reason, besides the fact that, well, I found this delivery, the Railcar, thought it was pretty interesting. It happened to go between Lincoln and North Platte. Just makes sense. So that's another reason for it. But needless to say, South Dakota, great to have on the horizon. Yes, would have loved to see North Dakota included as well. But maybe that's just me being really greedy with things, per se. I don't know. Comment down below what you think. I know a lot of you have had great reception to the fact that North Dakota, or South Dakota, sorry, is now coming. North Dakota will inevitably come, probably following. Either way, comment down below what you think. It's always great to hear your opinion. And otherwise, okay, car. Oh my word. You know, this is a big part of the challenge of the special transport DLC deliveries in general. It's just dealing with the AI, and in particular these lead cars or the escort vehicles, depending on how you want to call it. They sometimes have a mind of their own, and when they get up to their little shenanigans at times, you can actually fail the mission. So for example, if I wouldn't have been quick on the brakes in this Western Star 49X, wouldn't have had decent brakes across the truck and trailers, if I would have hit the guy, probably it wouldn't have been a good end to our delivery here. And, well, potentially you wouldn't be seeing any of this because I probably would have just started over once again. I would have just probably run her back and tried to record this once again, because that has happened, believe it or not, in a couple videos. Get only a few minutes in and something just chaotic happens, or a big game glitch and things reset. I just go back to a previous save and start again. But anyways, that's a big challenge. Besides the actual maneuverability of, you know, said trailers and moving around the map in a way that you have to account for a lot more, you know, turning radius or just mass in general around you. It genuinely is a challenge just dealing with the AI traffic and, again, the lead vehicles around. But other news for American Truck Simulator, as we've got a few other things to talk about here. Iowa DLC seemingly coming just around the corner now. We're in the last stretch, from what I can tell, of blog posts. We're getting fairly frequent updates on it. And of course the gameplay video that came out a while ago now. Things are moving in the right direction for Iowa as far as we can tell. But there were some river ports talked about in the most recent blog post, which is absolutely fantastic, because given that the nature of Iowa, there's some fairly major river networks that run through it, and the river ports are a very important part. It's going to be absolutely wonderful to see some of those river ports. Obviously, large logistic hubs moving goods between rail, truck, and shipping as well. Going to be really cool. And there'll be a lot of different goods that go in and out of it. I was trying to be a little bit of Detective Prime there and see what, you know, the different types of, well, potential unloading or loading points there are within some of these custom depots, or, you know, facilities, shall I say. And it really did look like there was some potential for there to be some dynamic loading and unloading sections of these river ports. It would make sense in my eyes, but again, SCS software, you do your own thing. Anyways, it looked like there was some, you know, various logging and potentially even some other bulk good transfer as well. Something, I believe I saw it in a comment somewhere. Someone mentioned it. I don't know if it was on the blog post itself or one of the, you know, the Prime News video or whatever it was. I do believe there was a loader positioned by some of the actual shipping containers within one of the facilities that kind of had a feel like it was part of a dynamic loading feature. Maybe that's just me being, you know, a little preemptive there, just really hopeful for what's the wait, was that cop and like extra like heavy haul escort vehicle just blocking off the median, or they pull over? I don't know. That's besides the point. Oh, we're going under this thing, the big bridge, or the crossing, whatever you call it. How neat. I remember seeing a blog post on this a long time ago. The big old archway, or crossing, I guess, is mainly what it is. Cool stuff. Gotta love some of these areas in the DLCs, eh? there's always some really cool things to see, and I just love those realistic details as well. Anyway, so there was some hints that there could be some extra dynamic loading. I would love to see, for example, container dynamic loading and unloading for the container trailers in American Truck Simulator. Driving up with your bare container trailer, showing up and having it click it on, or, you know, load it on, not click it on, but you get what I'm going at. That would be very interesting indeed. And of course, just expanding that network of dynamic loading and unloading moving forward. That is what we want to see. And maybe something like containers will come in and be, in my eyes, another, you know, fairly easy animation potentially to do. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not an SCS software developer. I don't know the insides and outs like that, so I can't make that decision on that one. But anyways, Iowa DLC coming along quite well, and to go along with that in the 1.55 update, that will most likely be the precursor. Again, the cop here just brake checking me. Why? Is it just because the AI traffic ahead slowing down because of the escort vehicles on the side, and then it slows down? I don't think I'm following too closely. Or definitely not going fast. I don't know. I really don't know. And I don't even have any mods that would be conflicting with this. I literally have one mod, as I mentioned, the engine and transmission compilation mod in this profile. That is it. So there should not be any conflict anywhere with, you know, different AI mods or anything like that. So, okay, let's try and get to the next thing, unless if we have a massive crash here with our police escort vehicle in front of us. The next part, that being Illinois, and that being Rockford. Another nice city talked about here for the Illinois DLC. We've had a couple now. With the Illinois DLC starting to move along and so on. Wonderful to see. Always happy to see new news on that one. Of course, we have Iowa, we have Louisiana, we then have Illinois, and now we have South Dakota. The big four for American Truck Simulator. So Illinois is in development as well. Obviously in early stages. Oh my word, trooper. Move, dude. I'm not getting any notifications saying I'm like following too closely. See if there's any messages. There's no chat, that's obvious. No short messages. There we go. So I'm putting my hands up here. I don't get it. I've been doing this game for many years. This is a common thing. The AI will just slow up. Every time there's a merge point, they just slam on the brakes. And these escort vehicles sometimes have a mind of their own. And yeah, as fun as these deliveries are, it's these irritants. That's honestly so hard to deal with. And comment down below if there's any way that anyone has figured out a way to try and combat this when you're doing this delivery, or is this just me? Is it just my luck with these vehicles, or am I actually following too closely and, you know, the cop is trying to make space between me? But if that's the case, they should be just speeding up, not brake checking a truck that has well over 100,000 pounds of mass behind it coming towards you. That's my 2 cents on that. But, you know, I guess to each their own. Comment down below if you figured that one out. But that's as much as I recommend the Special Transport DLC because of, you know, the nature of it. The vast majority of the deliveries are really, really cool to do and a definite challenge to navigate around. Obviously, this one's a little bit more highway bound. That's just the way it is. A little bit more direct. There's some other ones that are definitely more complex. There are some just hidden gems, shall I say, within it. And it's just because of the AI logic, basically, of American Truck Simulator, something that we've all talked about, or at least a lot of us content creators and many other people as well have mentioned. It's just the AI logic in the game is a little hit and miss. Sometimes it's quite realistic, definitely in the newer DLCs. Generally, the pathing is a little bit better, but it doesn't mean that something like this coming up here, okay, it's actually going to go through just fine. Okay, well, we're not having any issues there. Sometimes there are major issues that happen. And you know, Nebraska is a fairly new DLC as well, so it's not that it's an old DLC and the pathing is really outdated or anything like that, but it really is just the AI logic of the games. Probably need to be updated a little bit more than they have, at least to our knowledge. It seems like the AI has kind of been pretty static in terms of how it drives for many years now. Again, lots of new AI traffic coming in, but the actual methodology behind it driving around probably could use a little bit of buttoning up, but that's hopefully in a future update at some point. SCA Software do a great job at, you know, doing these updates frequently. They're constantly putting in new content, new updates and fixes for the game, making it better, but it's even like what's happening beside me here. This truck keeps speeding up and then slowing down when he gets closer to the escort vehicle because he doesn't want to pass it. It's the way it is. It is the way it is, my friends, but I do still recommend the DLC, even though I'm kind of ragging on it a little bit. It is still absolutely wonderful to do these special transports, and a challenge in the newer DLCs, definitely. Something like even Missouri. There's some more challenging routes as well. SCA Software now are more than ever are putting in a few more kind of, shall I say, doozy runs where you really have to try and figure it out. You know, it's less highway, so you really got to just try and figure out how you're going to get through there. That's basically where it's going to go at. Partly lost my train of thought, but that is okay. Well, we're rolling in the North Platte here, and we got to make a lane change. So we're going to move across. There we go. Thank you. Fantastic. And the left lane. I think we probably going to just stay here now. Yep. Looks like it. And it looks like, well, I mean, we are going to be doing like left turns and stuff up a bit further. Now, please hope the AI traffic moves through this light when it goes green and they don't just stay there. Because this could be a run back of the, I've never seen this before in ATS. Oh, good. It's not. They are actually going to turn. Well, that's good. That short, by the way. Thank you so much for the support on that one. It was a very similar situation. It was doing a special transport. And the AI came up to an intersection and nothing was moving. So that was fun. I had never seen that before, where basically we're at a standstill. The heavy haul cops basically were blocking the traffic and making it not move, but the traffic was inherently blocking us. So I couldn't pass the escort vehicle because I would have then failed the mission, and I couldn't, you know, couldn't go anywhere because no one was moving with the lights. So we were kind of in this constant state of being blocked, which was not fun, but ended up figuring it out. I used a little bit of developer mode magic and cleared some traffic, and we are good to go. So at least we didn't have to do a repeat of that here, which is always fantastic. Now, what I do appreciate is that with this trailer, it's really not too bad to get around some of the areas. Yes, it is a long middle section because of the nature of the rail car, but it does pivot really well, obviously, because of the trailer, or the rear part of the trailer. So it has been quite nice to try and drive around. Not too much of a challenge, but again, a nice change compared to some of our other deliveries, which I'm always happy to see. Now, I don't actually know where we're delivering to today because, again, we've been delivering or driving throughout this whole area other than just in North Platte here. In roads we haven't done in videos before somehow. Don't really know how, but that's the case. I guess that's just the way it is, right? I thought I would have done it a lot earlier, but I've never come down the I-80 through Nebraska that way. I've always gone just a little bit more northern, so I guess it's just how the deliveries fly, basically. Well, it appears as if we are rolling into a rail yard. Indeed, we are. And this would make a lot of sense, given what we are hauling today. Fortunately, these special transports generally make a lot of sense, logistically speaking, from where you're starting to where you're going, because they are pre-planned routes. Sometimes the dynamic cargo market can make some interesting combinations, such as hauling crude oil to an airport. You know, there's some realistic ones, some not so realistic ones, and that is fine. And just like that, we're going to have to turn in here. We're going to walk a little bit farther. And if we come through to here, we should beautifully be able to park this 49X and our Metro liner all at the same time. Thank you all so much for watching. What a fantastic delivery. Great to be here once again in the Nebraska DLC. Been doing quite a bit here in Nebraska, but obviously there's some DLCs coming out very soon that are in this region, so it just makes sense. Comment down below if you want to see anything else from me in particular with these videos. Otherwise, once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.